Blog Talk Radio.
Following ingredients include a look behind the scenes. Cook uncovered until hot. Add grooves to taste.
I would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl.
The accident was over a year ago. A second woman has been elected president. A 12th planet has been named in the solar system. The last wild polar bear has died. I slept through it all. I was here for my waking. He called it a beginning. He said it was good. I think he may have thought that anything I did was good.
Welcome to Transgender Radio with your host, Angelo
and your co-host, Lynna Lopez.
A show for trans folks by trans folks, here to let your voice be heard.
Hello, and good evening, and welcome to Transition Radio, live from the land of enchantment, Silver City, New Mexico. My name's Angelo Cummings, and I am your host.
And I am Lynna Lopez, your hostess. We wanted to take a moment to thank our sponsors, thebreastformstore.com. They have everything you can imagine to enhance your feminizing needs.
As well as Spunk Lube, which is an award-winning personal lubricant that's glycerin-free, non-staining, 100% sex toy safe with all materials, and it's fun to use too. It's available in Spunk Lube Hybrid, Spunk Lube Pink, and Spunk Lube Pure Silicone, which is our favorite. Visit their website at www.spunklube.com to check out their amazing line of products and use the code TR and receive a 10% discount.
Please support Transition Radio by clicking the donate button. No small amount is too small. Check out the GoFundMe of the month.
Yes, and the GoFundMe of the month is with my lovely Lynna. We have sustained a long...
Oh, really? Yeah. That's the one of the month?
Yeah, that's the one of the month, definitely.
I am so honored.
Well, hey, you know how that goes. You guys, remember, you can call in at any time at 646-716-6895. Again, that's 646-716-6895. If you scroll down on the link that you're listening to, there is a chat area where you can join us and chat, ask any questions, any concerns, tell us about the birds and the bees or whatever it is that you want to talk about.
There's too many things, too many topics for people to, just get in there and converse about.
Of course. Instead of bitching behind closed doors, this is the platform where you could actually go ahead and state your case. And speaking of stating your case, we have a lot of stuff that we really want to cover today. All these finger pointings and attacks on both Lynna and our character.
It was relentless last week. It was like a barrage.
I know. People just can't leave well enough alone. No, they have to continue on and on and on. Their misery life leads them to share that misery with all of us.
Well, if you challenge anything that they perceive to be inconsistent with how they want to live their lives, then expect a battle.
Definitely.
And that's what happened last week. It got ugly.
Yeah, well, if you state your opinion about something, which you did, you stated, and then, no, it's not me brainwashing you. I think, you're a big girl. You have your own brain, and people think that little of you that you don't have the ability to think for yourself, and I'm some sort of demonizing control person that hypnotizes you.
Yeah, well, I've always been a very independent person, so, there's nothing that you've done to make me, into some other person. But when you go through the hell that I have been through in the last year and a half, 2 years, it makes you do things that, that are important for you, and like last month with the terrible accident that I got into, it made me reassess my life in ways that I probably would never have looked at.
I could imagine that, and very few people could even remotely be able to understand what you went through because they didn't go through what you went through. And one of the things that I've noticed a lot about transgender individuals, they create this scenario in their minds and, want to fulfill this fantasy, and that's okay. We're all entitled to that, but don't tear other people down in the process. Don't try to liberate and hurt other people. And
I don't know. I think that when you're on Facebook and it's your wall that you're commenting things about, I think it's your right to state your opinion. I mean, if people don't agree with it, there's always that, unfriend button or unfollow button.
Yeah.
Or block.
Block is a good one.
I mean, if you don't like what I have to say, and basically one of the things that got people in a real, tizzy was this comment that I made, and I said, the trans fantasy of becoming a genetic and biological woman by altering our bodies to looking like a supermodel or just acceptable to ourselves is just that, a fantasy. Hate me if you want to, cuss me out, and unfriend me if you choose to. But I will never stop in asking all of us as trans gifted people to just accept our unique beauty and to realize that being able to balance our two sides of gender identity is really a blessing of incredible measure. Is that so bad?
No, it's not. It's your opinion.
It's
it is
my opinion.
A beautiful thing. I mean, once you get aligned with both the energies that you have inside, it's the most amazing feeling. It doesn't negate that you feel like a woman, or it doesn't negate that you feel like a man. But I truly believe that this journey is not about killing the other side. I believe that our Maker is speaking, and it's trying to create some sort of balance in this world that we're living in that's very male-dominated. There's a major masculine energy, so much so that we see all this war and all these corporate-run things, and even women. If you look at the actual true essence of a female, it's nurturing.
Yeah,
the
it
female.
Really is. Yeah. It really is. And, I'd be remiss if I would state that that's not something that I experienced with you in the last month, that you have taken me under your wing, you've cooked for me, you've taken care of me, you've bathed me. I mean, you've done everything for me. And, honestly, a man is not that good at that kind of thing. I mean, a guy would be like, okay, that's too much.
Yeah.
I mean, let's get somebody to help you out with that.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we can call somebody, but I don't know. I mean, I know there are kind, caring men out there that would reach out, but a lot of times men wouldn't do that, and I noticed that Maritza side of you was what was endearing itself to me to take care of me like that,
And that's what I had to tap into. And actually, one of the things my ex used to say, that I didn't have a lot of compassion. Well, I had to bring out a lot of the Mark because she didn't really appreciate the Maritza side because it negated her female side. And that's one of the things that we had a lot of problems with. So with you, I pulled out Maritza full force. It was Maritza taking care of this individual that was in front of me, that was helpless, that I saw through your eyes the amount of love that you needed, and I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
And I stepped up to the plate and gave you all of me.
Yeah.
And in the process, we fell deeply in love.
Exactly.
And I know a lot of people can't understand, I can't believe it, think of me as some sort of monster. I know my ex has done a great job in doing that. I'm not perfect, but I am not the monster that people are making me out.
I honestly don't know the person that she describes, because she missed out on seeing the person that you truly are. I mean, I think that she only wanted to see the Mark side, and she wanted to be able to experience life with a male, not realizing that and understanding that you are a trans man and that you are both.
Exactly.
So when I was able to see you the first time, I didn't see just Mark, I saw Maritza too. And I fell in love with both of those people who are actually one person, and it's that beauty of that dual-spirited nature in us that I have, that you have, that makes our relationship just magical. Because, whenever, it's funny, we can just be, joking around and stuff, we're talking about something, and all of a sudden Paul comes out and says something to Maritza, or, Lynna comes out and says something to Mark. it's just special.
It's magical.
You know,
Magical beyond belief, because we have no ego. And that's one of the problems in a lot of relationships, as people have a lot of ego in that relationship and they can never truly open their hearts up completely.
Yeah.
And, you know, I feel sorry for the individuals that can't do that. And I think transgender individuals are cheating themselves by not allowing themselves to be true to both their energies, because it is a beautiful thing.
And if you call anything into question, you're automatically labeled. And I asked somebody, can you please give me the actual acronym definition for TERF? Nobody was able to give me that definition. They just throw the word around like it's some kind of newfound language, or they're like, you know, saying stuff that they make themselves sound like they're always being the one that's picked on.
Exactly.
You know? And I think it's funny that anyone would even accuse you of being a trans woman hater or whatever. I'm a trans woman.
Exactly.
You don't hate me.
No, and I was with another one for 2.5 years, and according to her, I'm some sort of monster. I've abused her. Yeah, we had 3 confrontations, 2 major ones, and it wasn't just all to do with me. She does too. She doesn't take responsibility. You know, she knew how to push buttons. She knew how to upset me. She knew how to frustrate me. You know, here we had a relationship, and if we had sexual encounters 20 times in that 2.5 years, that was too much.
That's sad.
Very, very sad. And it's like amazing. I mean, being with you, and you're not well, and we still have all this intimacy whenever, and it's like you never tell me, oh, don't. It's part of it. And, you know, there was a lot of frustration because it was all me giving monetarily and all sorts of stuff, and she just expected all these things. And, you know, a person gets tired. You do. And she tells me, I changed. No, I didn't change. Maybe you had a lot to do with me changing.
Absolutely. I mean, it takes 2 people for a relationship to flourish or for it to die.
Exactly.
And in your case, it died because there was a lack of like a reciprocating love. I mean, it was like you're giving, you're paying for this woman's orchiectomy, you're doing all this wonderful this, that, paying for nail salon treatments and all that, and you would come home and she would be doing what?
Just exactly. You know, she hated when I would tell her, well, what have you done all day? You know, if I wanted the website done, or if I looked at the floor and it wasn't to my speculations or whatever, I would ask her, and then she would get all upset. You're never happy with what I do. Well, I used to be a woman. If I could do it better, you know, I mean, she would get all upset.
What better person to learn from than a person who was living and was actually a genetically born woman? I mean, I appreciate any kind of advice that you have to give me, because, I mean, I wasn't socialized as one. I wasn't given that opportunity to experience life as a female. So I understand that I don't have the answers, and I can only operate from what's innately inside of me. But there's half a guy here, you know, and I deal with that, you know, and it's not a bad thing. But the fact is that guys don't see things the same way as women do.
Right. And she would be all upset if I would say something or try to correct her from doing something. And it was like resented the fact that I would even be in the kitchen with her. It's like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. And it was just that constant battle of woke up fighting, went to sleep fighting. You know, it was misery. And, yeah, there was a lot of love there. And, I mean, I never once denied. And I've told you everything. I've shown you the emails. You know, there's nothing to hide. I'm not perfect, but I'm not this individual that she's making me out to be. In her recent scenarios, she hijacked 2 of my blogs, that Shame on You and Transgender Highway, and I had her as an administrator. Low blow, she removed me from those blogs. I have no access to them, and she created this new video about her 4-year journey.
The thing, though, that really not shocks me, but I was just really, like, blown away by, was the fact that she took it, but you knew that something was going to happen.
Oh, I knew. I'm like, oh, she's up to something.
Yeah.
And sure enough.
Before it even happened.
Yeah, because she's vindictive. She's been that way from word go. Sure enough, created a scenario video making me out to be this monster. and a wife beater and whatever. You know, I lived 10 years married to a genetically born female who I never laid one single finger on her, and Violet can do nothing but talk good about me.
Right.
So is it me or is it her? I mean, you look at her picture as Sean, and she very proudly says she was a biker and loved to fight and had it, you know, she has it in her.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of anger in there, a lot of depression, a lot of bipolarness, a lot of stuff that I had to deal with during that 2.5-year relationship, which made it very frustrating, and I got tired of it. So we moved on and went our separate ways and whatever. Now I don't know what she wants. I moved on. I'm happy. I'm in love with you. You're in love with me. You know, if you're listening to this, Jessica, please move on. You know, find a light. Find someone to be that Prince Charming that supposedly I couldn't be for you. You know?
I just think that, you know, this is just a casualty of relationships that go sour, you know, and you need to just count your losses and move on, you know, because you're not the same person that you were even on December 30th when I had my accident.
Exactly.
I mean, if you were blogging or emailing her on December 27th and the days before that, that's not the same person that I know now. I mean, we have been through a life-altering, life-changing event in my accident and everything that has transpired since.
Exactly.
And, you know, you're a different person, Mark.
Totally different person. And, you know, I was very much still in love with her, gave her my heart, and, you know, I asked God to bring me someone in my life that would help me forget. And I even told her, are you sure we're never going to get back together again? Because I'm getting ready to open up my heart.
Yeah.
And sure enough. And now it's like, okay, my heart was totally open. I have fallen so deeply in love with you that I can't even put it into words. I thought I knew how to love before. I did not. I have been the most giving, compassionate person with you.
Absolutely.
I've never been that way with anyone. You have opened that up in me. And for that, I'll forever be thankful and grateful.
I don't know what to say. I mean, I've only experienced love from you, and then when people say mean things about you, I can't understand or contemplate. I mean, as a guy myself, formerly, you know, living as a guy, I know how guys feel. I know how if you get them ticked off, they're going to react. And you're not negating the fact that you reacted to what she said, but it took two. I mean, if you instigate something, then you have to own up to it. And, you know, if you guys got in a tussle or whatever and somebody got hit, you know, inadvertently, or if both of you were hitting each other, I mean, that's, you know, that's something that you guys have to deal with. But did it have to become public knowledge?
No, because she wants to destroy me.
All she had to show me when she had her friend Cassie, you know, saying that Jessica doesn't know anything about me contacting you, but I just want to let you know about Mark and his, you know, ways of being an abuser of women and stuff, and I'm just concerned for you. It's like, Cassie, I don't even know you. I have never met you before. I don't even know who you are. And you're telling me this about Mark, and then she posts a picture of Mark, of Jessica with the fat lip. It's all out of focus and blurry and stuff. And I'm a TV person. I appreciate good pictures and stuff. And if you're going to take a picture of someone doing something to you, I would think that you would take a better picture, because then you could see exactly what happened. But in the picture, it's like out of focus. I can't even tell. And the fact is that if a person's really an abuser of women, there are images you will probably see if you Google that on the internet, where there are actual, you know, welts on women's faces and stuff. And, I mean, when you had a guest on, that Willem Belli or whatever, and he showed that video that they did for Nip Tuck, and that guy
was
kicked the shit out of that trans woman, that is abuse. Getting a little fat lip from an altercation that you both mutually were involved in, that is not abuse.
Exactly. But,
and if you caused a person to get that upset, then what are you supposed to think that a human being is supposed to do? You know, so I don't know. It takes two. That's all I'm thinking.
You know, it's like, move on. I mean, it's been over 6 months that we broke up. I've got a life now. You know, she needs to let go, and she needs to move on her merry way, and not continue to.
And people just need to stop hating. There's not just Jessica with regards to you and stuff like that, but people just have to stop hating, stop sending hatred messages towards us, because we just are trying to get on, move along with life. We have so many responsibilities that we're having to deal with and everything. And, I had to cut my friends list down on Facebook from 1,400 people all the way down to just over 250.
Yeah.
And that's because it was like this, out of control place where people could just spew hatred, We had this person accusing you of being like a cross-dresser.
A cross-dresser. I'm like, okay.
They had no idea that Mark was actually a trans man, I guess.
Yeah,
I guess so. But then they go off on their own Facebook page and they start digging up shit about you.
Yeah.
And they start picking on you and saying, oh, but do you know that Mark is in lock and step with Kathy Brennan? And they bring up your Kathy Brennan interview.
Yeah.
And then they talk about me and how I'm a turf lover now. And it's like,
and they called you everything from cunt to
and they call me everything. They call me a cross-dresser. You better get back to your cross-dressing ways, you and your boyfriend. It's like, people just don't have a clue.
Hateful, they're unhappy, so they can't stand when two people are happy. And, we're in love, we just want to live our lives and move on, and we want to continue to help the community, even though I'm supposedly this bad trans woman.
Wait. Let's look at this for what it is. You're what, 5'4.5", you said?
Yeah.
And you weigh how much, soaking wet?
During the time I was with her, 127.
Okay, she's 120. They were telling me, oh, Jessica's a size 1 to 3. She's a little waif of a woman. It's like, yes, but she used to be a guy that knew how to fight.
Yeah.
No one's misgendering her in any way, shape, or form. She is Jessica. She's a lovely, beautiful woman. Okay, but she used to be Sean.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not misgendering.
No, and Sean was a fighter. Sean knew how to fight, and Jessica still has bigger forearms than mine. Takes probably two of mine. Her hands.
My hands are twice as big as yours. Look at mine.
Yeah, I'm really gonna hurt you.
I know you can't see it on video, but my hands are twice as big.
But I'm gonna hurt you. I'm gonna be you gotta be. You're 5'10". I'm like.
I know.
Okay, all you have to do is swat me, and I'll probably go flying across the board.
Well, and then they talk about. I had a former roommate who would always just harp on the fact that, oh, Lynna, when you change more, you're going to lose so much muscle mass, and you're just not even going to be able to carry a gallon of milk up the stairs, to the apartment where we live. It's like overly, I don't know what the deal is with trans women. They think that they're just going to become these waify women that never knew anything about being a guy, although they lived as a guy for years.
Yeah.
I don't get it, and, this person would say, oh, you're going to have this great sense of smell and stuff, and you're going to be able to smell like a woman, not smell like a woman, but have the smelling sense of, ability of a woman. And it's like, what is all this bull that people are talking about?
And then when we try to bring reality to the equation, we're bad.
Oh, yeah.
We're like this.
Just because we acknowledge that people that were born male, that identify as trans women were born male. They're like, no, I was never a woman. I was never a man. I was born a baby. I was born a woman. And biologically, my tests will say, it's like, yeah, now
after you have all that
estrogen hormones in your body, they change.
Of course.
The body's able to adapt to the hormones that are put into it. So if you want to be a woman, put estrogen in.
Yeah.
And your body's going to start changing, and it doesn't mean that you have to be transgender to do it. You could just put estrogen in your body, it starts changing.
Or you could take too much testosterone. Look at all these male bodybuilders that get gynecomastia because their body excess testosterone will convert into estrogen.
Gynecomastia is man boobs.
Yeah, man boobs. Yeah. So
I saw these images of these He-Man
with
that
boobs.
had she-girl boobs.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't understand.
It's like we're not the enemy here. We're just trying to create awareness and have people realize, because there are a lot of people that regret after they did what they did, or they have this thing in their mind that you're just going to magically become this thing, and you're going to get hurt.
Yeah, but the thing is that most trans women will tell you then they really weren't. If they have regrets, that they really weren't. And it's like that's what they'll use as their excuse for like, oh well, if that person was supposed to really transition, they would never have looked back. I mean, here I am being accused of when I left my roommate situation in Nashville, I somehow reverted back to being a guy.
That was Jessica.
And I detransitioned.
Jessica in her email.
And it's like people don't get the facts right, and they start spewing crap about people that they don't even know. And I got some hater on the Silver City Sun News article. They wrote some BS story. That wasn't true. I mean, they're like, oh yeah, this person. This is a new high drama reality show that nobody will watch. 2 of the most dysfunctional people on the planet and their narcissistic adventures. First we have Paul Lopez, that was my old name, who flees from Tennessee, leaving behind 5 wives. 5 wives and a wife, but not before traumatizing and scarring the kids for life by walking in on them in full drag. Paul then shacks up with YouTube tranny someone. The bromance is doomed to fail. This person trashes the apartment, and Paul proceeds to post thousands of pictures of himself in a bikini online and runs off to Minnesota. Lopez does a series of videos where he falls asleep soaking in a bathtub, then hooks up with a succession of men, all while praising Jesus and crying because his boobies aren't growing. Paul then gets online and instantly falls in love with a testosterone-crazed character named Buck Angel.
Right, they got my name wrong. It's Mark Angelo.
This is a perfect dysfunctional match for Lopez. After driving for 100 freaking hours straight, Lopez decides he sucks and wants to take his own life and drives off a cliff to reenact the scene from Thelma Louise. I mean, it's like,
where do they get this
in the world
are
people thinking? I mean, if you want to hate, go hate something else. Why just not leave us alone?
I know.
We have enough issues that we're dealing with than to deal with hatred from people, and it's like, okay, if it's not Jessica, it's this person that's been haggling and hassling or whatever with me on YouTube, or it's like former friends that I thought were friends, people that I thought were my friends are really not friends at all unless you agree with them.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, folks, just go on with your own life. Jessica, please go on and live your own life. Be happy. I wish you well, but just forget me. Just let go. Yes, I wanted to get back together with you. We were interacting. The emails are both-sided, not just me. You wanted to come back when you were in California, and because things weren't working out for you. And at the time, I was going to give Gianna a try. You got totally upset. And then it was Amber. I'm not going to mention the last name. And it was the same last name as whatever. And, life goes on, okay? And I am grateful that I have found the true love of my life. And I wish you the best, that you find your true love of your life, Anyway, we got 90 seconds remaining. Do you want to read?
Great.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to read anything else.
You don't want to read anything else?
No, I don't want to read anything else more negative. I think we've
covered the bases here. But, guys, live and be well, be happy. Life is an amazing experience. Some things happen sometimes where things don't work out. You just move on.
Even the mistakes are things that we learn from it. Some things aren't mistakes. They're just things that we go through to get to the next level.
Yeah, I've grown, I've changed dramatically in the way that I feel and think, and I'm very grateful. I'm grateful even for the bad things that happened in the last relationship. But it is what it is.
It makes you who you are today.
Exactly.
You use these things to become a better person.
Exactly. So, anyway, Thursday we've got Lou Cutler. He won the first Mr. Pittsburgh or Philadelphia gay, and he's in FPM. So that's definitely an interview you don't want to miss. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time.
Oh, so, yes. Would that be 5 p.m. Pacific?
And then
4 p.m. Hawaii.
Yeah, all over the place. Anyway, I'm going to end the show with one of my original. It actually did not even record it here. No, so I can't.
They're going to go a cappella.
No a cappella, right, but it actually, no.
All right, 5, 4, 3,
no a cappella. Anyway.
Oh.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and remember, don't miss Thursday's show. We love you, but remember to always love yourselves too. Good night.